Innovation is the key to the survival of any company. But in the mid-1980s, it was innovation that created a company which is still quite successful today. That company, Empower, was born when my mom, Mary Beth Price, realized that focusing on the right media was just as important as the creative aspect of marketing. She understood that for media to work and drive business objectives in a changing landscape, media itself had to become more than just an ad delivery mechanism. But before all of that started, she worked in Chicago at the Leo Burnett Advertising Agency, where she met my dad.
We were dating, and she would come to Cincinnati on some weekends. I would go to Chicago for weekends, and we kept doing this for a couple of years or so. And she came down, and I was driving her to the airport. We're going across the Brent Spence Bridge, and she turned to me and said, being the aggressive, tenacious person that she is, she said, "Are we getting married or not?" She also said, "Well, I'm not coming back if I don't answer this correctly, So, yeah, I did. And so there you go.
A career move brought her to Procter & Gamble in Cincinnati, where she worked in the brands department. There were not many women working at that level at P&G at the time.
She was definitely a pioneer. She was a pioneer at Procter & Gamble because when we worked there together, there were very few of us, maybe, I don't know, a dozen or two in the whole company on the management side. One day I got a call from a former brand manager named Dean Butler, who was the founder of LensCrafters. And Dean said that he was looking for somebody to take over the media buying function of his new company, LensCrafters. I think at the time had only one store, maybe two. And I said, "I have a name I'm going to give you. I know you will offer her a job, and I know she will accept. You will offer her a job because she's the best who's ever worked with me." So I think it was one interview, and he hired her, and the rest is history.
When Media That Works was founded, which later became Empower, it was a new idea to unbundle media from the creative product that advertising agencies offered.
No one had heard of us, and you had to build credibility. We were in Cincinnati, and they're competing against New York and St. Louis, Chicago agencies, and that was a challenge.
It was a hard sell, and Mary Beth was tenacious in getting out there and talking to clients about the benefits that they would achieve by putting as much attention against media as they did against creative.
Much has changed in our industry since the company began. We still focus on buying the most effective media for our client's message. But it's not just creative or the media, it's creative media. Data-driven, tech-enabled, and emotionally charged creative media. Through Mary Beth's leadership, the company has continued to adapt to the ever-changing habits of consumers. And even though in recent years, she has stepped away from the day-to-day operations, she continues to serve as an inspiration and a mentor to our group of nearly 200. And her mentoring isn't about to change.
Mary Beth's almost like a second mom to me. I mean, she's been my mentor for years, and I always think of her entrepreneurial spirit and everything she brought to us from a business perspective, the inspiration, the solid business knowledge, the ability to let us kind of open our wings and fly and make a lot of decisions that I wouldn't have been able to make if I had not worked with her.
I have a lot of admiration for what Mary Beth does in the community. I mean, I think she's raised 4 or 5 kids besides her own.
I am Mary Beth's mentee. She's my mentor. And also Nyla is my daughter, and she's become Nyla's mentor. Mary Beth has been an essential piece of our life, just helping us put the pieces back together. Just building us up, every step of the way, from school to our own personal relationship, my daughter and I.
Mary Beth continues to be active, not just within the company, but with many civic causes. She's an adventurer, competes in triathlons around the world, and is an accomplished pilot. Mary Beth Price, a true pioneer in business.